Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today, I wanted to talk about Marvel Rivals, obviously. As Season 9 is getting underway, I wanted to talk about the current state of the game. Now, I'm very excited for Season 9. I feel like it's a gamble, but I feel like the best Marvel Rivals updates have always been when they put a lot of work into trying to change the game for the better. And I'm very curious to see how this update is going to evolve over time. I think it's way too early to tell whether or not, it'll be good or not. I haven't even played it yet by the time that I'm recording this, but by the time it's uploaded up, I'll probably have played a little bit. And if you've played it, let me know how you think about the update in the comments section below. I'm excited to see what people are saying, how people are reacting to all the new changes and whatnot. It should be a lot of fun, but I wanted to talk about some other things that I think are immediate concerns for the game. Again, I think this update is really cool, but I am a little bit disappointed that they are not addressing some of the things that need to be taken care of, and I think it's in the best interest for everybody if we put these concerns at the top of our priority list. Number one being like the most important thing I believe that the game should try and fix is visual clutter. Now, I feel like for most shooters, especially in like the hero shooter genre, like visual clutter becomes like, it's just like a natural progression as more abilities and more things get added into the game. And obviously because Marvel Rivals is like, the updates are so frequent and content is added constantly to the game, obviously visual clutter is only going to get worse and worse and worse. And I think that now it's ramping up really fast how bad the visual clutter is getting, and it's like advancing at such an alarming rate with every new character that comes in. And not even characters, just like also skins. Like the skins are adding more visual clutter to the game as well. If we think about the last few characters that were added to the game, like they just add so much stuff to the screen. Obviously Cyclops, he has a beam that bounces off of like all your teammates and then just covers your screen in a red beam, and then his ult just like covers your entire face, but just with a huge explosion on the ground. Like what are we supposed to like what are we even looking at? Dino, he like is a huge bubble with a bunch of stars in it. It's like yellow. And then there's just a big like dinosaur, and if there's two dinosaurs on the screen, it's like your whole screen is just dinosaurs. And if they both use the bubble, they're both using beams and they both ult at the same time, it's like you can't see anything. Like, what are we doing? Like, whose idea was it to make characters like this? And that's just the last two, right? Rogue, her ult and all her abilities add a bunch of visual clutter. White Fox, her ult is just a big fox with a bunch of particle effects every time they attack somebody. Black Cat doesn't really add so much visual clutter. That one's okay. But even like having to track a Black Cat, like while she's like zooming and like dashing across the map, and then while there's a bunch of visual clutter, like it just gets so overwhelming. And they just keep adding characters that are they just make it harder and harder to look at the screen and like focus on the game. And in a game like Marvel Rivals and a hero shooter where it's so important to like prioritize like certain targets, it becomes really hard to do that when there's just a bunch of abilities flying everywhere, and then ult spam, and every fight is just ult also. We did have that one season where they reduced all the ult charges, and like at that point like the game felt really good. But I think now we're getting to that like power creep time, especially with this new update and with all the new changes. Like ults are just gonna come back so much faster. Every fight is just becoming ult dumps again, and it's just like we're just reverting back to old ways. And then it doesn't help that all the new characters have so many effects that just like bombard your eyes constantly. It just does not make for a good viewing experience, especially for like new players, which is also another point that I wanted to talk about, is like the accessibility for new people. because of all these factors, like, you know, constant updates and all these new abilities and all this stuff and all the visual clutter, it becomes really hard to get new people, new players into the game because there's just so much stuff, you know, and it's just so overwhelming. And not only for new players, like returning players also. Like, I see a lot of comments of people saying, oh, I haven't played the game in a while, like, oh my god, the game looks like what the heck is going on? Like, even they're confused, you know. And as time goes on, it's just going to be harder and harder for these people to get back into the game because there's just so much new stuff, so many abilities, so many characters that they have to relearn. And the game looks a lot different than it did, you know, say even 6 months ago, like a year ago. And I don't think NetEase is doing enough to address these concerns. Obviously, if you're a long-term player, you might not realize, you might not notice, you know, because you've become so accustomed to it. But, you know, if you put yourself in the shoes of someone who's never seen the game before, it becomes really hard to, like, follow the game and, like, you know, get into it, because there's just so much stuff to digest, you know, and to consume. And this is especially, like, hard for content creators to, like, if you've ever, like, tried to go back and edit gameplay, it's so hard because there's just so many things happening all at the same time. So, like, making quality edits and content is really, really hard. And if you watch, like, other games, as shooters especially, like, they translate way better. Like, if you showed someone a clip of, like, Marvel Rivals to somebody who hasn't played the game, it's hard to explain what the heck is happening most of the time. But if you show a clip of, like, you know, like Apex Legends or Valorant or like CS or something, like, it's pretty self-explanatory. Like someone would be able to understand generally what is happening. But in Marvel Rivals, it really is so hard to sit there if you've never been exposed to the game before to, like, see what's happening. So, like, for content creators, that's a big deal. Right? If you have a crazy clip on Apex Legends, like you have a one clip where you snipe somebody with a Kraber and you do a ton of damage, like, you could show that to somebody who's never seen the game before and be like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool, right? But if you show someone clips of Marvel Rivals about, oh, like, look at this awesome play, it, like, they might not even understand if it's cool or not. You know what I mean? Like, in the other games, they have those issues. Obviously, like, I think every game has their moment of, like, chaos and visual clutter and whatnot. But the thing about Marvel Rivals is that it's, like, constant. Like, constant. And that's, like, I think the big issue. You know, like, shooting games like Val and CS, like, they have buying phases. They have, you know, times where there's not a lot of action and there's, like, you know, there's, like, some downtime, so, like, we can, like, you know, relax and, like, in between combat. Same with, like, Overwatch, where, like, the ults don't come as fast as in Marvel Rivals and there's, like, less visual clutter. Like, at least there's some downtime to kind of, like, regroup with yourself in between stuff. But in Marvel Rivals, there's, like, literally no downtime. It's just, like, constant action, constant stuff flying across the map. You know what I mean? There's really no break for anything. So, like, it becomes really, really overwhelming all the time, which is such a shame, because I feel like it's such a simple fix, you know, like, we just, like, simplify the game more, because, like, the bare bones is, like, really good, you know. Like, I love the engine, I love the mechanics of the game, but they just keep adding more and more stuff that make the game more complicated. And it doesn't have to be that way. So what do we do to correct this, or what's a solution for everything that I just said so far? Well, my number one thing that I think that they should add into the game is, like, more ways to reduce the visual clutter. You know, more options. There are some, and people do have mods and stuff that, you know, reduce visual clutter and whatnot. But I think there should be a way within the game to do so, especially because, you know, the game is has a very large console community. So, like, obviously mods don't, like, apply for everybody, because you can't really put mods on the console anyway. So I would like to see some options to change abilities to make the viewing experience more accessible to players and viewers. For example, like, I don't think every ability should have like different colors. Like, I think that's really, it makes the game look cool, right? Sometimes, but a lot of the times it just makes it so unbearable to play. So I think they should at least give you an option to like change the colors of stuff, you know? Instead of all the shields and bubbles being different colors, like mag bubble being purple and like hog bubble being green, and then all these different colors and whatever, right? I think that, you know, they should do what Overwatch does and just make everything like red or blue, you know, like blue for your teammates and red for the other team, or at least, like I said, have the option to change that. So if you want to have that for your gameplay, you can have that option. And again, like skins that have their own like colors, like that's like it's cool, but at the same time, like, it makes the viewing experience so bad. Like, when I see someone with like an invis ult that's like orange, like, brother, what are we doing? And then like a Dino will ult and then it's just like more orange. It's like, okay, this is getting too much. And then Daredevil will ult and it'll put blindness on you, and then Cloak and Dagger will put blind on you, and then like there's a Cyclops that's like holding right click, and then there's just so much stuff on the screen. Like, what are we supposed to do? I think we streamline it a little bit, have all your teammates' abilities be blue, or not maybe all the abilities, but at least like, you know, shields and stuff like that. And I think that'll help a little bit with the general experience. And I think we should stop adding characters with just like ridiculous, like huge beams. That just cover your entire screen. Obviously, there's probably better solutions. I would love to hear what you guys think in the comments. The next thing I want to talk about doesn't really have that much to do with like the game design, but more so like, I don't know, like the social constructs of Marvel Rivals players and content creators. Because like, I don't know why, but like somehow, like, I didn't think it could get worse, but like Marvel Rivals content creators are actually getting worse. Like, I didn't realize it could get worse than it was like a year ago, but like it's getting pretty bad. Every time there's a tournament, every time you like scroll on like TikTok or YouTube or whatever, by the way, follow my TikTok in the description, link in the description, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. What are you guys doing if you're not subscribed? And like the video and hype it up. But like, there's always some drama, there's always some like bullshit going on. Can we just play the game? You know what I mean? I mean, like, I get it, like there's some like financial or like, you know, like social incentive to like doing drama and stuff, but like I think it's getting out of hand. I see people on TikTok make like hate tier lists. Like tier lists of people that they hate. Brother, what are we doing, man? Like, other content creators, they're just trying to like, you know, like vibe out. Someone will get into a game and then like one guy will play bad, and then like people will make like a hate thread. TikTok's like talking mad-ish about one guy. It's like, brother, like, it's not that deep. But the worst part about that is that people are getting like famous off of it. You know what I mean? Like some people's best like most viewed content, or like the thing that like blows them up, is literally just like drama. You know what I mean? And like, I'm not gonna name any names, you know, and for a lot of people it's not really their fault, I guess, you know. I don't know, it's made this like weird atmosphere where everyone's like, I don't know, like on edge. It's kind of sad. Marvel Rivals community could be something so much better, but instead everyone just wants to farm drama and talk shit, and like, I don't know, like there's so many people whose their entire like online persona is like making fun of different roles in Marvel Rivals. Like, oh, I hate strategists, or oh, I hate DPS, or whatever. Like they just make short form content videos on that specific subject all the time, and then they just, I don't know, like, we're just constantly putting more negativity into the community. Like, it's just so sad, you know. And I've made my fair share of, you know, content talking about other people or whatever, but never in like a like, oh, I hate this person kind of way. More into like, oh, I hope this person improves, or I hope this, I don't know, cheater gets banned or something. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. I don't blame people for doing it because, like, again, you can blow up because of it. It's, unfortunately, it's just so sad that we live in a time where people would rather, you know, bank off of negativity than try and like promote virtue. You know, not to be too philosophical, but like we reward people's bad behavior, you know, and we reward conflict. And I think it's just a shame. Now, what can we do about that? I don't know. Like, genuinely, I don't know. But it's something that needs to be addressed at some level, you know. And I think it starts at the top. I really do. Like, I know people talk a lot about the tournaments, you know, and every major like Marvel Rivals tournament always ends in some sort of drama. And like a bunch of content creators are always mad, like, oh, I didn't get picked, but this person got picked to be in the tournament. You know what I mean? And it's just like I get it. You know, NetEase is trying to make money, trying to promote the game, trying to get the best return on their investment. So they, you know, reach out to a bunch of different content creators, whether they play the game or not, to promote the game. But I just wish the money and this investment would go back into positive creators, not a bunch of people that don't care about the community at all. And for me, like, that's the kind of thing that I hope that they will do more, because like a ton of people that are like, you know, bringing a bad reputation to like Marvel Rivals are like people that don't play the game, or like people that don't interact with, you know, other people within the community, you know. And then somehow we let those people dictate, you know, the reputation of Marvel Rivals, you know, or people that don't even fucking play the game or don't care if the game does well or not. You know, they're just in it for the bag. I don't think we should give platforms to people that are just going to like promote negativity for the brand and for, you know, everybody else. I think honestly it's just sad behavior. Also, are we not like adults? Why are we making like lists? Grow up. Like, what are you? What is this, middle school? Like, if you don't like somebody, you're gonna go behind their back and be like, oh, I put you in F tier, or I put you on this list of I hate you. It's like, brother, and we can't just like sit in a lobby with like people and then like play the game the way it's intended to be, to like, I don't know, to do something. Like every tournament there has to be some bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, can we just like, I don't know, cooperate as a team? Like, you guys never like in school did like a group project? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, what are the content creators are not real? Like, they're literally not real. People ask me like, how come you don't play with other like content creators or try to like reach out and do collabs? This is why. Like, I just don't fuck with people, man. Like, it's just like, I don't know. Like, I just can't stand people. Maybe it's just a human thing. Maybe there's nothing we could do about this. Huh? I guess. I don't know. I just wanted to rant about that a little bit. And like, I know the next tournament is gonna be more of the same shit, which is just like so sad. Like every tournament you just like watching. I don't even watch the tournaments. I just like wait for like the drama to come afterwards. Somehow, I don't know. You know, I guess it's good for the content cycle. You know, you make a tournament, create drama, people make a bunch of content, people go watch the tournament, and then it's just a vicious cycle of that. But can we have like a cycle of like positivity? You know what I mean? Like, oh man, I had such a fun time in this tournament, everyone did so well, shout out these guys, and then that, you know, becomes a cycle, and then everyone just has a good time. I guess we can't do that. I guess that's not a real thing, right? The other big thing that I don't understand that NetEase does is like, they don't promote the game outside of like, how do I say this, like the Western audience, or like English speaking community, or like the Americas, we should just say. North America, South America, and then like Europe, and then Australia. Like, these are the only places that actually play Marvel Rivals. It's just so sad. They don't try and promote the game in like Asia at all, which is such like a huge market. And like, they love other games. Like Overwatch is huge, you know, Apex Legends is huge, you know, League of Legends, Valorant, the Asian market is just so huge. You know, there's just so much opportunity there. I don't know why they don't try to expand in those areas. You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna pay a bunch of money to content creators to play in a tournament, like, do it in Asia. You know what I mean? Most of your player base is in America anyway, and Europe and South America. So like, why are you paying those people to play the game more and promote the game more there? I tried to play on like Japanese servers just to see. It's insane. There's like a 5-minute queue time on like prime time in like Asian servers. You know what I mean? Like, if you play like Dallas at like 7 p.m, right? Like any day of the week, like Wednesday, like you will have a 15-second queue time. But if you do like, I don't know, like 7 p.m. on like Tokyo servers, like the queue time's like 10 minutes. Like, I would like talk to people who are like from Asia or like are in that whatever like circle. How do you even say that? Like in an Asian circle, sure. And they like don't even know Marvel Rivals exists, right? But they would rather spend all that money on like to promote the game to people that already know what it is. You know what I mean? I think like they really thought that Marvel Rivals would have a bigger audience outside of you know, like the West, for lack of a better term, because like there's even a Japanese dub for the game that like they, you know, they update every update. They have a Japanese dub, they have a Chinese dub for the game. You can play the entire game in Japanese and Chinese or in Mandarin, but the game isn't that popular there, and they don't even try to make it so, or at least you never hear about it. You know what I mean? And I wish that they would do that again. They're just neglecting like a huge market that I think would really be into the game. Why wouldn't they? And you know, I follow a lot of VTubers and stuff, Japanese VTubers, and they never play the game. You know, they get sponsored to play Apex Legends or Valorant and Overwatch, and they have tournaments and they have sponsors. Even fucking Street Fighter does tournaments, like VTuber tournaments and all this stuff. I can't see why Marvel Rivals can't. I think they did do it like a year ago. There were a bunch of them, but like now they just stopped. Like, I don't know why. It's not like they ran out of money because they're promoting the game in like America. Like, to me that just doesn't make sense. And like, again, for the longevity of the game and for the success of the game, like, I obviously want the game to succeed and do better, right? As a fan and a content creator also. And like, also, like, if you look at like YouTube, like Marvel Rivals YouTube content creator or whatever, like all my analytics and like other people's analytics, a large majority of like, you know, viewers are in America. People that watch my like Marvel Rivals content, like 99% of them are from the United States. People do not interact or really care about Marvel Rivals outside of like United States and like, you know, Europe and like South America. And I don't think it's because like, you know, these countries have different tastes. You know, I think if something is good and fun, people will enjoy it regardless, right, of where they're from. I just think they just don't promote the game like in other countries, and I think that's, you know, it's just such a shame. It's just like such a waste that they don't do that. And I really think, you know, NetEase is fumbling the bag. Other than those things, I think the game is like in a good place right now. It's fun. Again, you don't have to like solo tank every game, so they did fix that. That was like one of the big issues I was having before, because like everyone was just like okay with solo tank, but now you know, it doesn't happen as often. Game balance, we'll have to see how the game balance goes. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. How do you think the current state of the game is? I don't want the video to be too long, so I'm gonna end it here, y'all. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and good luck on all your games. It was really nice to yap. I didn't do a yapping video in quite a while, so yeah, man. But have a good one. Thanks for watching. Bye bye. Bye bye, boosh. Thank you for watching. Boosh.